How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. Interesting one here. I'm gonna have to read everything on this bottle because there's a lot going on. Free Will Brewing's Clifford, the Big Red Quad. This is a Farmhouse Quad Ale aged in oak casks with cherries. That's not all that complicated to say, but it's the fact that it says Farmhouse Quad Ale. I'm kind of curious about that. Don't know anything about it. We'll see what it says in the back. Let's just keep going. See what the back says. It says a collaboration with Blue Dog Tavern. Okay, this Farmhouse Quad was aged in Marsala wine puncheons. Yeah, buddy. And in Aramea cherries and Brettanomyces. Notes of cherry skins, leather, caramel, pipe tobacco, and prunes. God damn, that's my kind of shit right there. So I was very curious about the Farmhouse Quad Ale. I assume the Farmhouse portion of the show is the Brett they kind of have in there. So yeah, done and done. Label-wise, it's cool. It's that new Free Will branding. Awesome labels. Texturally and design-wise, I dig it. So you're talking about a Brett beer that was in, was aged in Marsala wine barrels. Okay, so this might pop out of this really aggressively. There's no cork, so we'll see what happens. Nothing. I appreciate that. Unless it's not carved at all. So then that'll be a pooper. Because the one thing you really want, yeah, there's not much carbonation going on in this beer, is a flat beer, especially when it comes to quads. But what do we have there? Breaking out the old Duvel snifter. I have not broken this out in quite some time. Talking about a big, huge quad just kind of made sense to me. So, rocky all the way. Super rocky, super soapy head to it. Just south of khaki looking color. Really not much left to it. What is left behind is pretty much spot on what I like my quads to look like. You're talking about rich mahogany. You're talking about a kind of density, a little bit of kind of due to water brown. Man, the burps won't go away. Due to water brown in combination with like that kind of murky kind of red mahogany kind of color. So yeah, it's kind of spot on exactly where I like my quads to look. So give her a whirl, see what she's got on the nose. Definitely comes off rich in a sour kind of way. Like you're getting like caramels, you're getting a little bit of Belgian candied sugar, but you're getting a pruny, raisiny, slightly vinegar kind of tone on the nose. Now that could be the Marsala wine puncheons at play. It could be a little bit of turning of the beer. It could be just a robust kind of richness from that wine and everything else kind of playing in there. But it definitely comes off more kind of sour as opposed to just, you know, a red wine barrel aged quad. It comes off like it has a bit of sour going on. It comes in kind of dipping into that Flanders red kind of territory where you're getting that soft kind of vinegar vibes. But yeah, you get this really nice raisin date figgy thing underneath. And there is a soft funkiness outside of just a regular kind of yeast profile. That's probably your bread at work, but nothing too crazy. What you're missing is a little bit of that doughiness and a little bit of that overt sweetness that you get from a lot of quads, especially, you know, darker Belgian beers in general with the Belgian candied sugar. I think that's being tempered by that sour component. Because I think it's there. It's just that sour is kind of acting as a barrier between that sweetness. But yeah, she smells interesting. That's the word I'd use right now. I'm not sure if I'm going to like this beer or not yet, but it smells interesting. And that's a good place to start off. Let's dive in. Cheers. Ooh. Well, guess where it went? Stated fucking interesting is what it did. I still don't know if I like it or not. Huge drying character in there. Now, where's that from? I think it's coming from multiple different directions. I think it's coming from a yeast component. I think it's coming from the actual wine barrels. No duh. We're talking about that. And you know what? I don't remember the label. I read it and don't remember it. It says Amarena cherries. I believe those are inherently super tart cherries. I think that's where I'm getting all this tartness from. But let's get to that in a second. It's very dry. So I believe you're getting a huge oak component. I think it's a matter of getting that dryness from the wine. I think it's a matter, so oak, wine, yeast, all playing a part here, giving you super dryness. The quad is still there. You're getting that rich. That's where the datey, figgy portion of the show is coming from. But it's definitely underneath everything else in this beer. But it's still there. So it's nice. There's a slight musty component to it, so I believe there's a bit of oxidation going on with how much is going on in this, with the barrels, with the oak, with those cherries, with everything going on. And I'm not surprised there's a little bit of oxidation going on. But in this kind of beer, I think it kind of works. Does it work in a positive here? No. I think it's kind of a neutral push, a lateral move. But in a lot of other beers, I think it would suffer from the oxidation going on in this beer. I don't think you get that here. Yeah, this is a weird one. This is a weird one. Sure, it's a quad. The Brett, I mean, you know there's a funk component going on in it, but it's not overpowering. And with how, what I believe is the cherries and those Marsala wine barrels kind of merging together, you get this big kind of tart acidic component to it. But I don't think it's a sour beer. That's the thing. I think it's a beer with a lot of sour-like components in it that fools my brain. Like fools your brain. Fools my brain into thinking it's kind of a souring beer, but I don't think that's it. I think the way all the ingredients play together, it kind of fucks at your brain like that. And I could see people gushing over this beer, absolutely falling in love with this beer. But for me, it's way more kind of like me trying to figure out where everything's coming from, and that's kind of, I'm not saying it's hindering me from enjoying the beer, but it's got me all kind of combobulated, if you will, discombobulated. Yeah, I like it. I like it in the most pure sense. I like it because it's making me think, both in my brain and my tastes and all those bits and pieces. But I just don't know viscerally. That's what I'm trying to break it down. Is it something that I purely enjoy? And I don't know if that's the case. But is that all the components you need to enjoy something? Just plain off yes or no? Is it that simple? Is it like, I like it, I don't like it? I don't think flavor, I don't think experiencing complex beer, which this beer is that simple. To where it's just, it tastes good, and that's the end of the story. If that's the case, then I hit the camera, I go, it tastes good, tastes mediocre, tastes bad, done and done. I don't think it's like that. Man. It's fun, man. This is a fun beer. Yeah. That quad's there. Check. Cherries there. Big cherries. Big tart cherries there. Check. Oaks in check. Definitely drying. A little bit of funk. You got the Brett going on. Wine component is definitely dialed up there. So if I was going to pick this beer apart and really kind of just give my non-professional beer assessment about it, is that it's just a little bit kind of unbalanced, for the lack of a better word, or lack of me spouting some more shit. I believe that the cherries bring this tart component to it that would be welcomed without the Marsala, and vice versa. I think those two together just make it a bit more of a tartar, bit more of a impactful on that side of things beer, to where I think a lot of people would think it's a sour beer, but I don't think it is. Conversely, I think the quad portion of the show is nice, but it lacks this kind of robustness, this depth to it, this density to it that makes me love quads. And, you know, the Brett portion of the show, I just don't know if it's necessary. I don't know if it elevated the beer or not. I'm not quite sure. Now, is it, a quad with Brett in it? Sure. A quad with Brett with cherry? Sure. A quad with Brett with Marsala barrel aged? Sure. There might be a little bit too many moving parts in this one for it to be just like I said, just kind of like quick to judge, viscerally delicious. But I'm still talking about it, and I still want to figure out what I like and what I hate about this beer, and I think that in of itself is fun. And that's kind of what beer's all about half the time. So this is the kind of beer that I want to drink for like 4 hours. Just like by myself, just drinking, going, okay, and let it warm up, and just kind of like, go at it over an extended period of time. What more do you want from a beer? I mean, maybe that's You know, what do we judge beer on? What really turns us on about beer? You know, and this is a contemplative beer. There it is. It tastes like a contemplative beer. I don't know. It tastes like a fun beer, that's for sure. So let's talk about it. Is it, because I don't know what else I'm going to say. I'll just keep going. Is it one of the better quads I've had as of late? I have no idea. NA, big NA, no idea. Value availability, and you know, all the moving parts on this, it's probably anywhere 15 and 20 bucks, I would assume, for it's a 500 milliliter, I think. 1.9 fluid ounces of beer. 12.5% alcohol volume. Definitely don't detect that. And leave it with if you like what we like this. And if you like quads and you like wine, you want to meet in the middle. That's kind of where this one lands. But there's so much more to it than just that. But that's what I get. I get a rich red kind of wine, a drier red wine that just had a baby with a Belgian-style quad. And they met in the middle in a really weird place. And they're cool with it. And they don't, you know, hey, no judging in this zone kind of thing. And that's kind of where this beer lands. So if that's what you want to try, or if you just want to try interesting beers and you dig on those ends of the spectrum, this is going to probably do you really good because it's fun. And I just want to keep drinking it. So there you go. So there you go. Another review in the books down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to see me doing podcasts and stuff. I'll probably do that for you all guys soon. So check that out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little Clifford, the Big Red Quad right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.